Welcome to the Reset episode 46 with me, Sean Tucker. Mindset means shit without execution. It means nothing, literally nothing. You can have the most strong mindset in the world. You can think that you're bulletproof, but until you come down to actually taking action, that mindset means nothing. It's like the idea that you get in the middle of the night for this massive, brilliant business idea or plan to get absolutely ripped and absolutely jacked, or to follow your dreams and go and travel the world. Until you actually start making it work, like you actually start taking action in that direction, it doesn't mean anything. And I know that's somewhat controversial because I would probably be considered by many people as a mindset mentor. But like I said, mindset comes from lived experience. Having a bulletproof or having a really strong mindset, it's really just resilience. It's being able to back yourself, pick yourself up, and move forward regardless of circumstance, regardless of situation that you're in. You don't give up easily. And maybe you don't give up at all. Maybe it's ignorant. You're ignorant and you won't give up. I don't know. It's a bit like me on my journey of becoming an entrepreneur. I mean, I've had that many business failings. If I was stuck in my mindset of like not realizing that all my failures have led to my growth and my ability to gain skills and become a person of value, well, I would have given up and I would have quit a long time ago. And so this episode is all about understanding if you don't take action on what it is that you're saying and what it is that you're thinking, none of it means anything. And if you're not taking action because of the way you feel, right? Like you're in the mood and it's just not feeling good and there's just so much chaos. Like I'll be open and honest with you. I made a statement on this podcast a few days ago that I'm going on a 40-day challenge with no coffee and I'm going to commit to my yoga practices and I'm going to commit to not having sugary treats. And I've broken all 3 promises and I'm okay with it. Because the lesson itself is not, oh, I'm a failure. No, it's, I messed up. Perhaps I thought it was going to be easier than it actually was, which is the truth. It was a hell of a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. And now it's a matter of, do I get back on the horse or do I adjust the goalpost? And maybe it's not even that. Maybe it's actually asking myself the question, do you need to get off of coffee to get where you're going? Do you have to commit to your yoga process to get where you're going? Do you have to stop eating sugary treats to get where you're going? I don't know what that is for you, but often perfection is not going to get you where you want to go. Because the perfect plan, right? And I've mentioned this before on my podcast, the 75 Hard Challenge, right? That is a zero options, zero compromise mentality for building your confidence, self-esteem, grit, fortitude, self-worth, discipline, and self-belief. I completed it in 2020. I've made an episode about it before. But the reason I say it is I've done it. I've built that, let's say, unstoppable mindset. But until that is your default, it's not bulletproof. You're going to fall off your horse. And the question is, do you get back on or do you stop? See, if you're listening or watching this episode and maybe you're a smoker, maybe you're a heavy drinker, or maybe you're like me and you just love coffee and the way that it makes you feel in the moment. And, you find yourself wanting to know what it would be like if you were off coffee completely for a year or so. What would it do to your life, right? Because everything we do, every action we take does have a equal and opposite effect, which means every action has equal and opposite reaction. So everything has consequence. Every action you have, doesn't matter if it's thought, feeling, actual moving of your body, whatever it is, there is some form of consequence. It's not to say that there's a good or bad, positive or negative consequence. It's literally going to cause a reaction. And it's the question to ask is my reaction conscious or compulsive? If it's compulsive, it means it's unconscious. It means that you're probably just going around in circles day after day, moment after moment, circulating on those thoughts, ruminating on those thoughts. And you're not actually growing as a human being. You're not actually making yourself more conscious and not actually creating a life that you want. Maybe you are creating a life that you thought you want, but that's often different to the life that you actually want. Because one comes from a place of comparison and ego and having what someone else has and all of these thoughts and beliefs around what it is you think you want. Most of those things won't actually make you happy. But the process of actually getting into yourself, being present, being the person, being the man that you say that you are, and showing up when you don't want to show up, being there for the people you care about, because that's what's important. And that's honestly one of the hardest things you'll do. Consistently showing up, consistently being the presence or the safety for someone else takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of work on yourself to be able to do that. And especially now with the world and what's happening, there's a lot of fear, and there's always a lot of fear instilled in the mass population by the media, right? Doesn't matter if it's social media, doesn't matter if it's other media forms. It's just how the world works. Fear can be motivation, but hope for me is something that's quite strong. And being a presence of hope is very important to me. So every time you're going through the hard yards, going through the reps, going through the days where you just want to throw in the towel, ask yourself, is this really what you want to be doing for the rest of your life? If your reason why you're doing it is bigger than yourself and it's bigger than any other reason you can find, right? If it's a belief about, oh, well, I had, not a loving parent or whatever it was when I was younger, so I'm doing it to prove to them that I can do it. Well, that motivation will get you very far. But I promise you, you'll be unfulfilled when you get where you want to go. When you get where you think you want to go. There's a big difference. So I suppose the question I want to leave you with today is, if you are on a path and you really aren't sure about where you're going, and you're just taking actions and you're aware that every action you take has a form of consequence. Every action you take in that direction you are going that's not fulfilling you up or not filling you up, it's actually starving you away from your so-called purpose or your legacy that you really want to work on, then I'd love to have a chat with you, because my hope is that this podcast gets in front of the people who need it, gets in front of the people who are looking for something different, some form of hope that life doesn't have to be the one that they have. You can change. You can create a different life, shall you choose. And it's not about just shifting and changing, your jobs or your roles or whatever. It's not about that. It's about having the courage to see yourself for who you really are. The good, bad, and the ugly. So if that interests you, I invite you to just start a conversation. See me on social media and just send, "Hey, Sean, what's going on? I listened to your podcast and, I'm really struggling in this area," or "I really love what you said here." I'd love to hear from you. So reach out. And if you found value in this episode, just recommend it to one person. Thanks for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you in tomorrow's episode.